Hello redesigners, and welcome back to the channel. Wow, Karri, it's that time of year. As you can see, Karri's frozen solid because it's a steamy 60 degrees. For those of you who are curious, we are here in just a random town in Michigan. This is Lincoln Memorial Park, Harbor Beach. This is Lake Huron behind us. Absolutely beautiful. Well, one thing we noticed on the way up here is Labor Day is over, and that means that thousands, and we mean thousands of RVs are going to go into storage. And well, that's something that's right in our wheelhouse in our former life. Well, Karri and I worked for a storage company. I was a district manager and Karri was a store manager, and we're going to cover some things today that are going to help you not get your RV stolen. Now, if you want your RV stolen, you can just disregard everything we say, and yeah, you can do it that way. But one of the things that we used to advise all of our customers is that even though we had a secure facility, secure means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. In our particular facilities that we were running, well, everybody had a gate code and could get into that gate. And there was a lot of times that people would rent a small unit to get access to the gate for 30 days, and they could do some damage in those 30 days time. So when we hit the road full time, we took what we learned over the years and we put that to use in our everyday life. So some of this stuff with putting your stuff in storage will be beneficial, and others will just be beneficial for you if you're a full-timer as well, because these are steps that you can take because theft happens there. First off, right off the bat, I'm going to jump in with do your research. Do your research on wherever you're going to be camping, wherever you're going to be staying, and where you're going to be securing your prized possession, your RV. Make sure you do your research on the reviews of the place. Check with your local police department if you're renting a storage facility space, and see what has happened over the years there. Your local police department will be your first line of defense, because, well, if they tell you, hey, we get about 5 break-ins a year out of there, you might want to look somewhere else. And also check to make sure that your contract covers break-ins, because a lot of self-storage facilities, they don't cover you if you're broken in. It's just under a general liability insurance policy, and that ain't going to cover you unless you've purchased the All Safe, or whatever they're calling it these days, package for insurance. That's a whole nother realm. But from basic setup, let's cover, well, just basic locks. Your goal here isn't, there's not going to be one step that's going to secure you from everybody. A hardened criminal, if they really want your stuff, will get it. But basically what you want to make sure is you're not going to make yourself an easy target. On screen is what's going to be the items that we use for your convenience. There is a Amazon affiliate link in the video description below. For full disclosure, Karri and I do earn a very small percentage on any purchases that are made by using those links, and that does go back into our channel. But we just like to make sure that we're being honest about it, and you know ahead of time. But we'll start right off the bat with X-Chocks, or a similar item. Now, we had X-Chocks until Karri decided to drive away with one of them still attached. So we've moved on to another company, and I'll put those on screen here. These here, for what we see, offer a little more stability, but they also have the ability to add locks to them. And your goal here with X-Chocks, or similar wheel stabilizers, is just basically to make it one step tougher for somebody to drag your rig away. They're not going to want to spend 5 minutes undoing each side to get this down, and at the same time, you know, you got to have a 17 millimeter wrench on these, and there are other ones were 15, some were 3/4. You get the idea. But it's added a little protection, because if the wheels can't move, the rig can't move, right? And we find that not only are they great for stabilization, but they're great especially if you try to drive away with them. And believe me, when you do try to drive away, as Karri can tell you, they make quite a bit of racket.
They do.
Now, once we have those down in our RV level, we like to use a combination of a hitch pin lock, and we also use a basic, just a over clamping lock. It just makes it so the ball hitch inaccessible. And all that does is block access to where the receiver goes. So this way here, they can't just back up and drop your rig right onto their ball mount and take off. Now, are these breakable, defeatable? Sure. You can hit them with a sledgehammer and they'll probably fall down. But at the same time, if you're in an RV park, your neighbor's probably going to hear that sledgehammer sound, right? And if you're in a storage facility, most of those places, they want a quick in, quick out thing, so they're not going to want to be playing around with these things. So it's something that, and these vary. There's all kinds of different styles. The one that we use for master lock suits our build. There's some of these that go up to $200-300. It's up to you, but this is basic protection. It's bright red, so people see it and they go, again, they'll move on to the next one. Picking on Karri on this video, but Karri has learned very quickly that, well, all of these rigs, for the most part, a good majority of them, all share the same key with your neighbor. That's right, folks. If you have a baggage door lock or you have a stock lock on your front door to your RV, well, guess what? Probably about 30 other people in the RV park can come right through and open your rig. Now, if they have access to you, imagine what thieves have, because, well, these keys are easily obtainable. Just a quick search on eBay will net you hundreds of results where you can pick up these keys for as little as $4. So you don't even need to have an RV. So basically here, what you want to do is you want to make sure you change the locks of your baggage doors. There's a numerous amount of RV companies that make different locks that are keyed specifically for you. We like to use an all metal lock for our entry door. I'll put this up here as well. This is something that, if you've seen our RV security cameras video, which we'll talk about in a minute, this was instrumental into making sure that we were secure. Not only do we have the ability to lock it with a remote, so if we're down, a few feet away from the rig, we can hit the key fob and it locks. But it's a numeric entry, so it's easier for us. We don't have to carry keys with us. But at the same time, the keyed ports on these, well, you're not going to have everything that you're sharing with, Louis down the road. He's going to have to move on to the next one. You get the point. And that's going to bring us into cameras. Now, this is something that may seem a little extreme, but we learned the hard way back in our sticks and bricks home that security is important. Simply having cameras noticeable to a thief makes them think twice. Now, the camera systems that we use are just a very off-brand, but they've performed flawlessly for us. We love these cameras because of all the cameras that we looked at. One, the price point was phenomenal, and two, they have a magnetic mount, which means the mount stays up on the RV permanently with this double-sided 3M adhesive tape, which has lasted through all kinds of heat and crazy highway speeds. But I can just pull the cameras down when we want to take off. Now, before the keyboard warriors start going, but you can hit it down with a broom. You're absolutely right. If a thief's walking around with a broom handle, he could probably knock those down, or a stick, or if he's carrying a ladder with him. But also, they could come down off a Black Hawk helicopter and just parachute down and take them off too. But that's okay, because whatever they do, that video feed is backed up to the cloud. And not to mention that it was going to set off motion sensors so that we're going to get an alert when we're on the road. Now, there is a couple of caveats to that. Just any security system for remote viewing or remote notification is going to require an internet connection. That's something you'll need to figure out. For us, we use a dedicated hotspot that's hidden inside the RV so that thieves aren't going to be able to see. And by the time they found it, we've already been alerted. Speaking to alerts, we've gone a step further and we use technology called AirTags or the like. And AirTags are an interesting little thing. Karri and I have AirTags on pretty much everything that we own. If that's portable. Our e-bikes are AirTagged. Our RV is AirTagged twice. Hell, even our truck is AirTagged. Even with AirTags, if a thief was to haul off our rig, they'll get a notification in a few hours that says, hey, this AirTag is following you. By having two hidden well deep inside the RV, they may find one and think they're safe, but we've got another one that's still tracking them. While none of these are 100% of a security policy for you, well, they're at least going to make you less of a mark. Now, if anybody's able to get past all of that, and they've made it, and they've stolen your prized possession, your top-of-the-line X model, whatever rig you've got, well, we recommend strongly a solid insurance policy. Now, we're not going to recommend an insurance company because I think everybody has a different view on this one. And there's some companies that may fit your bill based on, well, where you live and reside. For us, our preference was Progressive because, well, we domicile in Florida and they had the best policy for Florida. And that's really was important for us, right? So make sure your policy is going to cover theft. Make sure that you're covered no matter where you are. And all these little things added together should make for a less of an anxiety attack. But again, if your goal is to have your RV stolen, then just disregard all this and just put it out there. The only other thing I'm going to add to this is that those little chains on the front of your RV, I would find a way to make them as short as possible. Lock them together. That will help a lot too. That's it. Not a very long video, but we just wanted to make sure that those of you who are out there and going to be locking things down for the cold winter months coming up, or if you're just going to be in an RV park and you're not sure that the natives might be restless and out there trying to steal things, you have a little added defense to you. That's it. That's all. Now, I talked through all this because she asked me to, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
I don't know anything about, well, I do. I know how to break stuff.
Yeah. She does a good job at running things over. But if there's something we missed and there's something you'd like to add to this video, by all means, leave a comment below. We're more than happy to answer to your questions, and we'll consider them for a future video. That's it. Before I turn into an icicle, I'm Bob.
I'm Karri.
And this has been Life Redesigned, the Security Edition.